Here is the warm-up for lesson 12. I'm going to show you how to do one of these problems, probably 3, and then 4 is the same problem, just written in a different format. So up here I have 1/4 x equals 2.5. I'm going to change that into an improper fraction. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 on top gives us 5/2. And I have 1/4 x. What's happening is the x is being multiplied by 1/4. So if I'm trying to solve for x, I have to undo that. And to undo multiplication, we divide. So now this is done, and x remains. And then over here I have 5/2 divided by 1/4. So we switch it to multiplication, 5/2 times, and we flip that fraction over, 4/1. So x equals 20/2, which is just 10. Now, this question is the same exact thing, it's just written in a different format. But we can rewrite x/4 as 1/4 x, and then the problem proceeds the same way. We can also think of it as being divided by 4, so to undo division, we would multiply by 4 on both sides. These would undo each other. 5 times 4 is 20/2, and we still get 10. So we have x equals 10 here, and x equals 10 here. These two are the same, and these two are the same. So you really only have to do 2 problems, but write down the answer twice. So complete those in your composition book before moving on. Here we have a pitcher with a recipe for lemonade, strawberry lemonade. So we have strawberry, lemon, and water. In here, let's say we made a 16-ounce pitcher of lemonade. This would be 1 cup of water, a 1/2 cup of lemon juice, and a 1/2 cup of strawberry. If I was going to make 32 ounces of lemonade, how many cups of water would I need now? I doubled the amount of lemonade that I want, so I need to double all of the ingredients, which means I need 1 cup of strawberry, 1 cup of lemon, and 2 cups of water. Here I have a table. It says she creates a comic strip about a superhero, and the superhero is drawn in different sizes and poses in different frames of the comic strip. However, Maya wants the ratio of the length of the head, from the chin to the top of the hair, to the length of the body, so from the toes to the top to the bottom of the head, to be a constant in every frame. That means she wants the person to appear the same in every single frame of the comic strip. Complete the table. Find the unknown lengths by determining the value of the ratio from the bottom row and applying it to other rows. So what it means by finding the value of the ratio, that's kind of like finding a constant of proportionality. So we are going to figure out what that constant of proportionality is, so it can help us fill in the rest of the table. Here I have 18 divided by 2 1/4. Well, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 more makes 9, so this is 9/4 if we write it as an improper fraction. We can change that to multiplication by flipping the fraction over or using what's called the reciprocal. "18 times 4 is 72. And then remember there's that invisible 1 down there. 72 divided by 9 is 8. 8 times 9 makes 72. So our ratio has a value of 8, or we can think of it as our constant of proportionality is 8 centimeters of body length per centimeter of head length. Okay, we also need to find the total. So to find a total, we're going to add the head length and the body length together. 18 plus 2 is 20, and then we have that extra fourth. Now to figure out this measurement, we are going to multiply by that constant of proportionality, but to go this way in the table, we will need to divide by that constant. All right, so 3/4 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. With that invisible 1 underneath, we have a 4 there. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Now I need to add 3/4 and 6 together. That gives me 6 and 3/4. To go from the body length back to the head length, we're going to divide. 6 and 2/5 can be rewritten as 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 more, so 32/5. We can change this to multiplication by flipping that fraction over. 32 times 1 is 32, and 5 times 8 is 40, which can be reduced because 8 fits into both of them. 8 times 4 is 32, and 8 times 5 is 40. If we add these things together, I had 32/5 and 4/5, which gives me 36/5. 5 fits into 36 7 times because 5 times 7 is 35 with 1 extra piece. This next one is a little tricky because it gives us the total, but it doesn't give us any other information. We can come up with another ratio by looking at the totals compared to one of these, but we might also be able to just use the constant of proportionality to help us out. We know that when we divide these two numbers, it has to come out to 8. And we also need two numbers that add up to 9. Here are some possibilities. 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and 5. If I keep going, I end up with the same numbers, just switching the order. So here, the constant of proportionality could either be 4/5 or 5/4, depending on which one goes in which position. This could be 3/6 or 6/3, which would reduce to 2 or 1/2. Neither of those equal 8. Here I'd have 2/7 or 7/2. Those don't equal 8. Or 8/1 or 1/8. Well, this one would turn into 8. So we're going to place 8 here and 1 here. So that way when we divide 8 by 1, we get 8, that constant of proportionality we were looking for. Now, it's not always going to be that simple because it might not necessarily be whole numbers here. But in these two problems, they were kind of nice to us, so we will take it. All right, now we're going to use this row, since it has the whole numbers, to answer the next few questions. What is the value of the ratio of the length of the superhero's head to the length of the body? Now this is saying the fraction version of the ratio. So the length of the head was 1, and the length of the body was 8. And then it says, what does it mean based on this situation is what it's referring to. And it means that the head is an eighth of the size of the body. What is the value of the ratio of the superhero's body to the total? The body was 8 and the total was 9. This one doesn't ask us to explain. What is the value of the ratio of the length of the superhero's head to the total? Using the values of the ratios that you identified, write equations for at least 3 different proportional relationships in this situation. Use the variables shown in the table. In the table, we had H for the head, B for the body, and T for the total. Our first fraction was 1/8. There are 2 possible ways we could write our equation, but only one of them will be correct. Is the head 1/8 of the body, or is the body 1/8 of the head? Well, the head is smaller, so the head is 1/8 of the body. So we don't want this one. In the next one, we had 8/9, referring to the body and the total. Oops. We can either write it as B equals 8/9 T, or T equals 8/9 B. Is the body 8/9 of the total, or is the total 8/9 of the body? 8/9 is smaller than 1. So is the total smaller than the body, or is the body smaller than the total? Should be that first one. And in the last ratio, we had 1/9, which was referring to the head and the total. Is the total 1/9 of the head, or is the head 1/9 of the total? The head is smaller than the total, and since that fraction is smaller than 1, the second equation there is correct. Lily makes a drink by mixing lemonade and iced tea. She uses 1.5 cups of lemonade for every 4 cups of iced tea. Complete the table. I'm going to change them to mixed, or from mixed numbers to improper fractions. This would be 3/2, and this would be 5/2. I notice that 4 divided by 2 is 2. So then 3/2 split into 2 parts should give me what goes in that box. Well, 3/2, we can change that to multiplication. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4. We also need to find the totals for these. I have 1.5 added to 4. That should give me 5.5. Here I have 2 and 3/4 combined, which is 2 3/4. we need to find a ratio or a constant of proportionality to help us figure out this next one. Four divided by 3/2 will tell us what that constant is. We're going to flip it and multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. So our constant of proportionality here is 8/3, or our ratio. The value of our ratio is 8/3. So to get from here to here, we divide, but to go the other way, we multiply. So I need 5/2 times 8/3. 5 times 8 is 40. 2 times 3 is 6. You can reduce this or change it to a mixed number. 6 fits into 40 6 times, because 6 times 6 is 36. Then we need 37, 38, 39, 40. 4 extra parts. We can reduce this, but because this one has a 2 in it, we're actually going to have to turn that one into a 6 to be able to add. All right, so I have 6 4/6 plus 5/2. I'm going to go back to this version just so that way we have them both as improper fractions. All right, 46 plus 5/2. We can't add these like they are because this is not the same denominator over here. They need to have common denominators. So if I multiply by 3, that would turn it into a 6. So now I have 46 plus 15/6. 40 plus 15 is 55. We don't add these, we keep them the same. 6 fits into 55 9 times, because 9 times 6 is 54, with 1 piece left over. All right, like I said, they are being nice to us. So in this next one where we have 2 blanks, we are going to figure out what 2 things add up to 11. 1 and 10, 2 and 9, 3 and 8, 4 and 7, 5 and 6. The next one will be 6 and 5, so we already have those values. But we know that our constant of proportionality, or our ratio, was 8/3. So I know it needs to be a combination with 3 and 8. I know that this is the y divided by the x value, or in this case, the t divided by the L value. So this one will be 8, and this one will be 3. Write an equation to describe the proportional relationship of the total number of cups of the drink to the total number of cups of lemonade. So in this case, the total is actually represented by D for the total number of cups in the drink, and then L for lemonade. If we go back to that last section here, we saw that the L was 3 and the D was 11. So we have 11/3. And then we have to ask ourselves, should it be written this way or this way? Now this fraction is greater than 1. So what it's asking is the drink equal to something bigger than the lemonade? Or is the lemonade amount equal to something bigger than the total amount in the drink? It makes more sense for the total drink to be bigger than how much lemon is in it. So we're going to go with this one. Write an equation to describe the proportional relationship of the total number of cups in the drink, so still D, to the cups of iced tea. The tea had 8 and the drink had 11. We know that the drink amount is bigger than the parts, so we should write the drink is 11/8 of the amount of tea in the drink. Make sure your composition book is completed with your warm-up and your workbook is filled in.